Good morning, one and all. About our college, SA Engineering College, an autonomous institution, was established by Dharmanaidu Educational and Charitable Trust in the year 1998 to 99 with the overall experience of more than 25 years now. SA Engineering College is approved by AICTE and affiliated to Anna University, Chennai. Our college is well equipped with state of art world class labs, central library, department libraries, workshops, and research labs. We are certified with NAC and National Board of Accreditation NBA. Our college offers 10 UG courses like BTech AI and DS, BE Civil Engineering, BTech CS and BS, BE CSE, BE CSE AI and ML, BE CSE Cybersecurity, BE ECE, BE Triple E, BE VLSI Design and Technology, uh, BE iTech, and BE Mechanical Engineering, and also six PG courses like MBA, MCA, ME CAD/CAM, ME Communication Systems, ME CSE, ME Embedded System Technologies, and also PhD courses. On behalf of our college management, I would like to welcome everyone for the Tech Series 4.21. Our guest for today event is Mr. Sai Vignesh, proud alumni of SAEC, where he pursued his engineering in our prestigious institution. Currently pursuing MS Computer Science at Indiana University in USA, also working as a full stack web developer in Stellar Logics. Previously worked as an associate software developer in Calibrant Technologies Private Limited during December 2021 May to May 2023. During those period, he was awarded as star performer and eccentric performer in his web team. In 2022, he was also awarded as best outgoing student award for his active participation in extracurricular in our prestigious college. On behalf of our college management, I would like to welcome Mr. Sai Vignesh, who is here to explain about generative AI, prompt engineering, and its ethics. Now I hand over the session to him. Thank
Yeah, thank you. So, first of all, I would like to thank all the faculty and the management of SA Engineering College for inviting me to uh, be a resource person in this Tech Series 4.21. And yeah, thanks again. So, uh, today's topic and today's webinar topic would be as ma'am said, it would be generative AI, prompt engineering, and ethics. So, let's see at the agenda of the webinar so that you could get a more idea of what we are going to do today. And yeah, so we are going to recap what is artificial intelligence and how does it work, and how it has transformed over years, and what is generative AI, and how we could use this generative AI. And then uh, that is the way we use prompt engineering for that. And we would also look at a few hands-on examples on how to use generative AI, and finally its ethical implications. So that is our today's agenda. In a nutshell, this is our agenda. And before we start on the main topic, so let's recap on artificial intelligence first, so that we can get a better understanding on ground, so that it would be easy for us to understand what is going to happen if we use generative AI. Yeah. So, what is artificial intelligence? Basically, artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer to understand and help users with the data. So we already started to use it every day. Example, we use Google Assistant. Those who have Apple devices, we use Apple Siri, and some of us also started using Chat GPT for generating our content like that. So this is a hot topic of the actually today, because generative AI has a lot of advantages, and it helps to reduce our workload as well as think in a different way. And what gives the artificial intelligence the ability of the machines is that it gives the ability to think and learn like humans. So that is what artificial intelligence. So human intelligence, what we do, the same thing artificial intelligence does. uh, uh, it thinks like a human brain. So it's like giving computers the power to understand, reason, and solve problems just like we do. And so how does it work? So we need to know how does it work in a basic understanding, so that we could understand generative AI. Imagine that we have a data. If we look at the data, we would be able to predict what is going to come next, right? So this thing we manually do it. For example, if we look at the price of the flight tickets every day, for example, for the past 1 week, if we see the price of the flight tickets, we could be able to predict what will be the price of the flight ticket the next day, right? So that like we could say, for example, the past week it's 4,000 rupees to get to Bangalore. We could say it will be around 5,000 rupees tomorrow, like that. We act upon the data. So instead of we manually doing the job, we give this particular work to the computers. So what computer does it, the it 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 repeats what we do. So for example, if we give the data for the past week, for example, past week the list of the flight prices are like this, so what would be the flight price in the next week, or what would be the weather for the next week, the last week weather was like this. So what AI basically does, it understands the data what we give. For example, like as I said, weather and flight prices, it can be anything. It can be also an image or a video. For example, if we give a video, or an image, like if we give an image, for example, your photo, or a leaf photo of a leaf, photo of another human, means AI will try to interpret the data, and it will try to imagine who does it, who is it, like that. So that is what it is said, like that AI learns to recognize patterns and relationships in the data. So it tries each and every who can corner to understand the bits and bytes of the data, so that it could predict the next output. So once the AI is trained, it's like a mission. It's a mission actually. So once the AI is trained, it can be used to make predictions or decisions on new data. For example, if we use a medical data, we have chest X-rays, CT scans, and other medical reports, right? So we have a huge amount of data in our lying in our databases here. So if we give that data to the AI model, what it does, it tries to understand the data. It tries to understand the patterns from the data. For example, imagine there is a person called Rahul, and his age is around 45, and we have a health and medical history of him for the past 10 years. So we could use the same medical data to predict whether he would get any, how well he could be in the next 10 years. For example, whether he could develop any complications in his health, or will will he be needing any additional medications or supplements for maintaining his health, like that. We could basically predict anything. The thing is, we have to give the right data to the machine, and that will make, and with in combination with the right algorithm, it will make the computer think properly and give a proper output. So that is called an AI. AI is nothing but it is a machine which takes in a data, understands that, tries to establish a pattern, and then predicts the next data. So that is what AI in an umbrella term. So like inside AI we have a lot of things, like data science, we have natural language processing, we have computer vision, we have a lot of topics inside AI itself. And generative AI is one of the topic inside this AI. So generative AI is the new trend, and it involves both natural language processing and generative output. So it combines two topics into one, so that is called generative AI. So we'll see how AI has transformed over years, so you could get a better idea on how AI is today. So everything actually started from the ground zero in 1950, where a test called a Turing test was actually established. It was proposed by Alan Turing. So this Turing test, what it does is, it tests the machine for intelligence. Like if a machine can trick humans into thinking is human, then it has intelligence. So that is the algorithm which Alan Turing had proposed during that time. And consecutively, like till 1966, there was a lot of developments in developing artificial intelligence. Due to technological considerations and implications, at that point of time we didn't have very advanced computing capabilities. We had only like mechanical computers and typewriters at that point of time, and punch cards, like that. So due to technological implications of that time, we could not we could not explore a lot in the artificial intelligence field. So there comes the AI winter. So AI winter is a pause in the time period, like from 1966 to 1997. No major improvements or research have been made in the field of artificial intelligence, like due to the fact that we could not feed like a large amount of data to the machine, and the research was not enough. So when in 1997, at that point of time, we already had microprocessors coming in. So for example, in 1997, we already had the IBM OS2 operating system as well as the Windows 95 operating system. We had a 100 megahertz plus Intel processor, 8086 processor or Pentium processor at that time. So it was a pretty good time to start in AI research again. So the first project that was done in 1997 was the Deep Blue AI. So what Deep Blue AI does is, it is a chess playing computer from IBM, which defeats the world chess champion Gary Kasparov of that time. So it was the simplest algorithm developed in 1997. So everyone of us could have played chess online or in the mobiles. So if we are playing a single player mode, means we would be the main player and there would be a computer playing in like in the front of us. So that computer also uses AI. It would have ingested a lot of data from its past, like the moves of very famous chess champions and previous players. It would have a list of all the moves and all the winning and losing moves. So what that computer AI will basically do is, it will learn all the moves. It would have an algorithm to learn all those. It would have an output data which tells how to move for this move. For example, if we make a move from A2 to B2, for example, like that in a chessboard, the computer will know what move to do next to defeat you. So that is how the algorithm works, right? So we need to know that idea. We need to understand the previous data. So the first AI that has come to real time is Deep Blue. Then consecutively, Kismet, Aibo, Roomba. Roomba is nothing but the cleaning robot which was made in the USA to clean homes. So it came in 2002. So it has the capability of scanning the floors, creating a virtual map of the home, and then cleaning it around. So it came in 2002. And Apple Siri came in 2011. So Apple Siri was the first conversational AI bot developed by Apple. So it does basic jobs like setting an alarm, searching something on the internet, calling someone. So very basic prompts. The same was developed in 2011 by Watson as well as Google. Google made it available in 2015 as Google Assistant. And like and in 2014, Eugen is a chatbot which is the first chatbot to pass the Turing test. So all these AI did not pass the Turing test because it did not have the ability to think on its own. It is just an algorithm, right? It does not get the inputs from the user in a very conversational form. So like Siri, Watson, and Eugene were the first chatbots to get human inputs in a textual format, and Eugene was the first chatbot to understand it. So where are we heading? So where are we heading is from simple algorithms to conversational algorithms. That is where we are heading. So from basic chess, we have come to chatbots. So chess is like only moves, right? It is only A2 or B2, like the only moves, the moves you make on a chessboard. But when it comes to conversational AI, we can ask anything to the AI. So, for example, how is the weather today? How will be the weather tomorrow? How was the weather today last year? Like that, we can ask any question. What happens in the back end is, it will try to understand what we are trying to do, and it will just uh, give an output. So same with Alexa, Tay, and AlphaGo in 2017. So the timeline we have on the screen is only till 2017, but current is like almost 7 years back, right? So in this 7 years time frame, a lot of things happened. For example, we got more precise Google Assistant, we got more precise Siri, we got Chat GPT, we got Meta AI, we got Gemini, we got Perplexity AI, we got Dali. Like we got a lot of AI which can converse with humans in a very natural way. We also got artificial intelligence solutions to understand our voice, that is a voice input, understand our voice and give output as voice. So there is a lot of improvement. We don't have, we don't have any more robotic voices today. So if you had seen like old English movies or English series or even Tamil movies, they have robots which will talk in a robotic voice, right? So we today we still have those robots ready, but it won't talk like in a robotic way. It talks in a very natural way like humans we do. So a lot of improvements have happened, and AI is much is still evolving. So there is no end as of now. There is no saturation as of now. There are still improvements happening, and there are still like solutions and real world implementation still pending. A lot of research is being done. So currently in 2004, so 2024, we have the generative AI. Like almost it is as much intelligent as last year, but with the improved form. So we will see how it has how it will work. So, as I said before, generative AI is just a subset of AI. But the thing is, instead of understanding and giving an output, what generative AI does is it understands our query and generates an output. So that is the difference. So there is a difference between replying to a question and generating something for a question. So that is what generative AI does. So what it does is depending on our query, depending on our question, it generates new text, let it be images or music and more. It can also help us in a way. It can act as a personal assistant today, because we have prompt engineering, a special type of engineering in which we train the generative AI assistant to achieve a specific task. So we have that much capability today. And what generative AI has the potential is that it has potentials in healthcare, educations, entertainment, space industry, agriculture, and it has a lot of scope in all these fields. So for now, a lot of research is being done on the healthcare field, because today we are having the prototypes of machines that could do surgery. It is called the automated surgery robots. It will have a it will have very small hands, small scissors. It will cut through skin, can do everything with the help of human command. And we have a lot of research going in healthcare regarding protein synthesis. There's a lot of topics to discuss. And so as of now, we don't have generative AI very that is very much stable for content creation like what I'm doing today. So what will happen in the future is, even the webinar we are having today could happen through generative AI, not through humans. So that much capability generative AI holds, and the research is going for it as well. And what drives generative AI is the basic ML models. So we have a lot of machine learning models. Machine learning model is nothing but it is an algorithm which helps the machine to understand the data and give a proper output. So that is called a machine learning model. So you could think it as a algorithm that you might have written in C++ or something like that. It works in the same way. It takes in an input, processes it, and gives an output. So generative AI also does the same thing, but in a more complex mathematical way that you'll be studying in like the engineering or the whatever degree you're going to take in the future. It will be doing that. And so it, as I said before, it learns the patterns and relationship in human created content, and you then uses those patterns to generate new content. For example, if you feed generative AI, for example, like 2000 lines of what you wrote in your lifetime, generative AI has the capability to generate a similar sounding sentences that you create, and it would sound exactly like you. That is what generative AI can do, because everyone here has a very specific pattern of explaining the data. So I would speak in a different way, you could speak in a different way, other person can speak in a different way. So what generative AI does is it understands those patterns and tries to repeat it in a machine way. That is what generative AI does. And today we have a lot of models called gpd. You could come across Instagram reels and YouTube shorts, let it be newspaper readings or online articles. So you could heard about gpt. Gpt is nothing but what we have today as chat gpt. So they have a lot of models, and they're called gpt-3, gpt-3.5, and gpt-4. Nothing but it is the next version. So the current version is gpt-4o, which can generate relevant text. And we also have image generation models like DALI, Midjourney, which turns text into realistic images. Imagine it is like thinking of something in your mind. For example, if I tell you, think of an ocean with a ship on it, written Titanic. So what you will do? Immediately you will start to imagine that in your brain, right? So you create an image in your brain. So what it would look like, ship like Titanic in the middle of the ocean before it's sinking. So you could imagine like it is a big ship having three towers of vapor chambers, and there could be people standing near the bow, like that. If you had seen the Titanic movie, it would be very easy for you to imagine. Or what is it like? You have a plan to build a house, and that house should have three bedrooms, and your specific bedroom should contain your specific study table or computer table in this corner. It's like imagination, right? So that particular imagination, instead of you doing it, AI does it for you. So that is what DALI and Midjourney does. It takes in the textual input that you just create on your mind, and it generates you an image, which more or less looks like what you thought. So to be more realistic, research is still going on for understanding what happens in our brain and giving that input to AI. People like Elon Musk are developing chips like Neuralink to understand what is going inside the brain and take that data and give it to AI, so that make AI make like AI will give output on what happens in our brain, so that we could just convert it to computer form. So research on those topics are still going on. So like still since things like these are going on, so there are ethical considerations such as copyright, misinformation, and bias that needs to be addressed. Because in this world nobody has the rights to use your specific data or my specific data without permission, right? So what have very recently, like you could have heard the news, a music producer has sued a case on someone else for using their content like that, right? So it is like that we should not use the images, text of other people. So still ethical considerations are going on, and still people are using generative AI. So we will see next on how to use this generative AI, so that in a hands-on experience, so that you can understand in a better way. So for that we need to understand prompt engineering first. So prompt engineering in the generative AI involves crafting effective prompts to guide the AI model in generating the desired outputs. So imagine that you are having a person to do your job. So what you would first do, you would command them, right? For example, please finish me this work, please do this work. You'll ask them to do a specific job, right? So in a similar way, we need to request the AI to basically achieve a given task. So we humans generally communicate through voice and body language, but since AI does not understand our voice in a very better way, our tone in a very better way, and also it does not know our body language, we need to convert them into a textual form, that is called the effective prompts, to so that we can generate a desired output. So these prompts, what it will do is, it these prompts will be converted into instructions and inputs to the AI. It will provide the context of what you are requesting and what is happening around the environment, and it will guide the AI model to create a content. That is what it does. So for example, if you tell the AI to get me a list of movies that released last year, so you don't need to do the search on the Google, because it has all the data already updated in the AI. So what it does is, uh, it understands your context. For example, you're asking for movies That is the first input. And you're asking movies in the last year, not this year. So what will happen is it will understand the context. Context is today is 2024 and last year should be 2023. So the user is requesting for list of movies that was released in 2023. So it will understand the context and then it will get the data. So that is how prompt engineering and generative AI goes hand in hand. So we'll see hands on how to do that. So to do this, we need to understand the capabilities and limitations of that particular AI model. For example, a textual model can generate only text, and an image model can generate only an image. So we would not be able to generate an image in a textual model and a text in an image model. So we need to understand the capabilities of that particular model, and we need to articulate this desired outcomes clearly and concisely in our instructions. So we'll see how to do that. So this is a list of use case examples that we can do with generative AI. So we can generate content for our own. That is, for example, if you need a paragraph to understand what is artificial intelligence in simple words, we could ask, "Tell me about artificial intelligence in simple words," like that. And we can also summarize large content into a concise one. Imagine that you're having a book, you didn't read that book. You will read that book in the future, but you need to know what that book contains. You could tell that AI, please generate me a concise paragraph of what is written in A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. So what basically generative AI does is it will already have the data of the Brief History of Time book. It will generate a concise paragraph of what that book is about. So you could get a better idea and then elaborate on it. So build your initial resume. So if you give the details about you, or about where you studied, what marks you got, what internships you have done, like that, to the AI, it will help you build your initial resume. You can also use it as a personal tutor, or for example, brainstorming idea generation. So for example, whenever I run out of ideas, I run into ChatGPT. So what ChatGPT does is I ask, "Do you have any other ideas for this? Do you know whether some research is going on that?" So what GPT will basically do is it will search on the data and tell me what can be done. If it does not have data, it will tell it doesn't have data on it. And you can also use it to debug code. If you're a computer science student, if you have written C++ or Python, you could come across a lot of bugs in your code, right, since it is a starting stage of coding journey. So if you give the erroneous code to the a generative AI model, what it will do is it will try to detect mistakes in your code and it will correct it so that you can run your code without any errors. So that can also be done. And textual data transformation, imagine you're having a list of what list of movies, or list of trains or flights. You have a list, so you need to know the show times for movies, or flight departure or train departure times. You could ask AI, "I have a list of train numbers or flight numbers or movie names. Please give me details in a tabular format." So basically, you're giving text, but you're asking data in a tabular format. So that is textual data transformation. So that we can do. We can do image generation. We can do wallpapers generation. Wallpapers generation is just a fun thing, because if you're having a wallpaper, you could have searched internet for wallpapers, right? For example, abstract wallpapers, wallpapers of a ocean, wallpapers of a forest. Since generative AI has already understood a lot of data beforehand, so it will help you generate those images with a method called there is an algorithm called stable diffusion. So with that stable diffusion method, what it will do is it will convert your thoughts into an image. So that can be done. We can also build a product with the help of AI. So what today's you could have also seen some influences in Instagram and YouTube telling you to become an entrepreneur by generating products. So not joking, but it takes a lot of effort and time to develop a product. But we can use generative AI for building a product. For example, if you want to be an entrepreneur, but if you need a product idea, or if you want to improvise your product idea, means we could ask AI to brainstorm product ideas and then choose upon one. We can do those. And we can also generate a working code for examples. For example, if you want to learn HTML coding, you could ask AI, Yeah, I want to learn HTML. Can you please teach me the basics and basic code to run it and how to run it? It will aid in all the ways. So that is one use case example. So let's see this example one by one in a practical environment. So let's get into the on hand session. Once again, I'll share my screen. One second. Yeah. So we took a basic understanding on what is prompt engineering and what it does. Next, we can see what is uh, how what are the examples we can give to the prompt engineering. And for example, if you want to make a grammar correction, so this will be the sample prompt to the AI, and this will be the AI. So this is called Chat GPT. So ChatGPT is the is a conversational artificial intelligence assistant, which is built on a model called GPT-4. GPT is called Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's a quite large name for a model, but what it does is it takes an input uh, from us as a message, and then it will generate an output depending on the command we give. So, for example, if I give, let's start conversing with the artificial intelligence bot. So I tell hi GPT. It is telling me how I can assist you today. So the next process is we can ask what is the weather to it. But the thing is, GPT won't have access to the live data. So an assistant like Gemini would be able to answer it, but not GPT. To understand what are the limitations of GPT, we could try that question. So what is the weather today? So it is searching for current weather. See, the GPT is now improved. So what is before it used to say the data is not available. So now it has the capability to search over the internet, and it tells like it is partly like sunny conditions. It's nearing 85 degree Fahrenheit, like that. So we could ask similar questions to it. Will it rain next week in Chennai, like that? So again, it will search the weather forecast for next week. It also tell us where it sourced the data if it searched on the internet. So, for example, it searched four sites on the query, and it tells us that there is a high likelihood of rain. So, in a similar way, we give prompts to it. It will help us to achieve a very specific task. So, for example, these are all very general, common tasks. So, let's jump on to some advanced tasks. So, what I'm doing is, so for every specific task or achieve like we need to achieve, we need to make sure that we establish a separate chat thread for it. For example, in this chat thread I have given around 1 2 3 prompts that deals with general data. So these collection of conversation is called a context. So what the generative AI models do is it will take these context, and then depending on this context it will give only output. It tries to understand what is going on inside the environment. So if we need to achieve a very specific task, if it is very specific, we need to always start a new chat, and then we need to build on it. So for example, let's take one example from here. So we need a grammar correction. So for example, this is a very basic task. So the prompt given a system is we need to give a command to it like this, and the user command is like we are giving the input to it. So first we will give a prompt. I'll explain what this prompt is and how to build this particular prompt in this example. So what is given is you will be provided with statements, and your task is to convert them to standard English. So this is a prompt which is also a command to the GPT. So what GPT will understand is, okay, I'm going to be the one correcting the grammar here. So whichever input user gives, I have to correct grammar. So that is my prime task of the day. So GPT will understand the same way. So the prompt should be structured like this. You means like you're telling the GPT, when it is understanding the language, it will search for the specific word, whether the user has specified the u word. You means it will understand it that it is a self. Then the context of what we'll be providing them statements. We'll providing the GPT with statements, and what its output task, and the task is to convert them to standard English. So you're telling who does the job, what job to do here, and what will be the input of the job. So we need three parts, that is the input, the job, and who will be doing it. In this case, it will be always you, that is the GPT, and we need to provide what will be the input and what task should it do. So this is how the prompt is actually built. We can ask in a very similar way, like we could include the sentence, please correct me grammar. We could tell like that, but this is a more effective message because it looks formal and it looks structured, because these AI models will understand structured data very well than unstructured data. So let's try. So it is telling that sure, I'd be happy to help. Please provide me the statements you need to convert to standard English. So I'm going to give the same example. So I'm going to see whether it gives the same sample response as it is here, because it is an AI. It should remember the past data, right? So she know went to the market. Clearly, the sentence is of erroneous grammar. So let me send it. No, she did not go to the market. So that is what the output is. She did not go to the market. For example, will tomorrow rain morning? Will it rain tomorrow morning? So have dinner you done? Have you had dinner? See, it's so intelligent. And what kind of questions we can? Can you ticket booking me to London? It seems a little bit awkward, but let's see if it corrects it. Can you book me a ticket to London? See? So this is what a conversational AI is capable of. So once we give it a command, it will understand that command, takes in the input data, and tries to correct it. It will have the in this case, it will have the full language of the source language. So currently we are conversing it in English. So many researchers are trying to converse in local languages also. You could have heard of startups like Servam.ai. Servam.ai is an Indian startup which is trying to develop indigenous LLMs, that is the large language models like GPT, to converse in local languages like Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi, Marathi. So they are working on it, and it's not fully done. Once it is fully done, it will be available. Still, GPT can understand Tamil, but not understand and talk in Tamil or Telugu, but not in a very good way. Like it does not like for Tamil and English, for local languages and South Indian languages, the grammatical structure changes a lot, right? So this understanding of grammatical structure is not still very proper in GPT platforms. They're still working on it, and sooner or later, within 2 or 3 years, we will get a conversational AI that talks in our local language, which would be very helpful for people who don't know like English in a very much pattern. And we could summarize for a second grader. So, for example, we have summaries for a second grader. This particular task, what it does is, we have a student studying in second standard, so we need to make that person understand what we are talking about. So they're talking about Jupiter. When we were in a childhood, like sixth standard or seventh standard, we could have studied about what planets are there in our solar system. But uh, the words such as brightness, 2.5 times, it is a gas giant. So these words look a little bit complex, and it looks like it is taken from Wikipedia. So what GPT actually does is, it converts them to simple English so that the children could understand. So this is a sample prompt. Let's jump into a more advanced one. For example, create tables from unstructured text. This is what I talked about. Uh, Converting unstructured data such as a paragraph to structured data. So you'll be provided with unstructured data, and your task is to parse into CSV format. Instead of CSV format, what we'll do is, we will tell convert it to a table. So it will generate as a table. So let's try that in a different conversation. You'll be provided with unstructured data. We can tell hi GPT, that is fine. You'll be provided with unstructured data, and your task is to pass to into CSV format. Okay. Okay, I told before, we are not converting into CSV format but in a tabular format, right? So if we have provided an incorrect prompt, means we can change it in a option called edit message. So into tabular column format. So that is what I'm giving, tabular format. Okay. Okay. So I think I need to convert into a different model. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, let me give the data. See how fast it is. See, to read this paragraph, we will take around 2 minutes. To build a table, we'll take like 5 minutes. So, but within 2 to 3 seconds, it understood the context, it understood the data, and it gave us the tabular description. So, this tabular description, if we copy it and paste it in an Excel file, our work is over, right? That's it. So this is how work can be minimized. We don't, if we having a lot of work today, we don't need to sit and understand what is going on for a simple task like this. We can use the generative AI models to accelerate our work in a better way. Many companies today are requiring the prospective employees to have a knowledge on prompt engineering to simplify their task. They don't need to sit more than half an hour on a particular task. So with models like this, we can accelerate the task, right? So this is one example, and like this, a lot of examples are there. I'll provide the content in a separate file so that you can have a view on it. Let's jump on to the image generation part. So this is the most interesting thing. So if you give a prompt, it will generate you an image. So let's, can we try the prompt we discussed about the image in a previous like explanation? We try to imagine a ocean. In the center we have a ship called Titanic. So we can try the same prompt to Copilot. Let's try now. We have something called Copilot Designer, that is more specialized. Generate me an image which shows a big ship called Titanic in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Also, make sure that the ocean has an iceberg and the ship is far away from the iceberg. Oh, it is telling me to sign in. One second. Yeah, we could try the same prompt. One second. Yeah, this is the Copilot designer. Generate me an image of of image where a ship called Titanic sails in the beautiful view of Pacific Ocean. So it's getting generated. It takes a little time because it's an image. It has to think. It has to do stable diffusion, and it has to generate. Meanwhile, you can see the sample images generated here. So this is, yeah. See, so what it did is stable diffusion. You got the same ship here. This is the Pacific Ocean. See, similarly, we can generate any image we want. Um, so this is one example. Generate me an image of a cat posing as a police officer standing nearby. Uh, okay, as a aeroplane pilot standing nearby a plane flight. See, this is one fun concept, but as you can see, this is the power of AI. So AI has the power to generate images in what way we decide to be generated. Yeah, and there are several examples to explain, but since we are reaching 12 p.m., I would like to tell that we have a lot. I would like to conclude and tell that we have a lot of AI models like this. So the ones we discuss here is ChatGPT and Copilot, that is Bing Copilot, and we also have models like Gemini, Meta AI, Perplexity AI, and DALI. So DALI is part of OpenAI, and there are even several models like Midjourney, but Midjourney is a paid one. There's a thing called Midjourney. But Midjourney is a paid. It requires to have you a subscription to generate images. So, we could see the like we will see the ethical implications, and then we can uh, conclude. Can you please present the PPT, please? Thank you. So, so last slide, which is ethical implications. So as we saw now, we had the Titanic image in standing inside the standing on the ocean, right? So where did we get this particular image? How did the AI understand Titanic looks like this? So they are trained on that particular data. So Titanic image is a free data, we can use the data, but what happens if we use some private or protected or patented data? So it creates a bias, it creates a sense of copyright infringement, right? So like that we have a lot of ethical implementations, like implications. Transparency, like we don't know till now how the AI models are trained on which data they are trained on. Every company they tell that it is trained on 2 million tokens, 2 million data, like that. but we don't know what exact data it is trained on, whether it is trained on research papers, whether it is trained on patent papers. We don't know that. But if it is trained on that, it is a copyright infringement, and it needs to be stopped, right? So because if I invent something, I don't want to be it understood by ChatGPT so that it could be used by someone else. So that is one problem. Privacy, the most important thing is we should not provide our very sensitive data like card numbers, phone numbers, email addresses to the AI, because what it will do is it will AI does not store your data. Generative AI like ChatGPT does not learn from your data, but what it does is it collects all your data in the backend because it is offered as a free service. It collects all your data in the backend. Many researchers sit and review the data, remove any unwanted things, and what they will do is they will train the AI again on our data. So it is very important that we don't share our personal data like phone numbers, email addresses, card numbers, or anything, bank information, anything like that, because it is potentially can be misused. But we can use synthetic data, it is not a problem. Security and sense of security, generative AI systems can be used to create deep fakes. So if you have gone to the social media websites, a lot of celebrities are telling that my photo is taken, it is deepfaked like that, right? So AI systems are being implemented so that deepfakes could not be done with real world pictures of other people. So it is a very big problem that is going on to be solved. And once it is done, we will have the sense of security. And job displacement. Job displacement is if some work can be completed by AI and we don't require a person to do it, that particular job description could go off, right? So we need to prepare for the future with a different job description, not just simple job that can be like data entry. Data entry is like it's going to be taken over by generative AI and AI subsystems. So we need to jump into a different topic. Control and responsibility. So whatever data generative AI generates, the companies don't take responsibility of the data, and it's purely random. And we also, since we also generate data from it, we should also make sure that the data is responsibly generated and it contains the relevant text that we are going to share. We need to verify that the data is correct. We should not just copy paste the data, and we should not use it. For example, we should not use the generated data on our directly on our resumes, directly on the projects we are doing in college, directly on any other professional websites. We should not use the direct data because it could contain any wrong content. We should always proofread whatever AI generates. That is the most important thing, because I've seen a lot of research papers on the internet having the prompts embedded in the like research papers, and it's not being peer reviewed. So I'm seeing a research paper and it has a paragraph called "Sorry, I could not generate a response for your query." So what query it is? So the author, what he or she had done is they did not verify the data before inserting into the research paper, and that paper could be retracted anytime from the journal, right? It causes a negative image for our identity. So we should be careful that we should not it will also create ambiguity and plagiarism. We should not do plagiarism with the AI. We should be careful on what we are doing. So that are the ethical implications. You can read more about it on the internet. It is available in a lot of formats. And yeah, time for Q&A. So do you have any specific questions? Please post it in the comments. We'll take 5 to 10 minutes to discuss about it. And yeah, please type I have a query first and then post your query, because like we would understand that you have a query, because you could be typing a big paragraph that could take time. So please post I have a query and then post your paragraph so that we could wait for your query. Okay, so there are only 19 participants here, and I assume that there are no queries for now. Okay, we got one query from Bagadishwar. We can able to create and training generative AI. It is possible? Is it possible? Okay, yes, Bagadishwar, it is possible. We can create and train generative AI. The thing is, we need to know how AI algorithms work first of all, and if we understand how AI algorithms work, and we need to know how to train the data. There is a specific procedure on how to train a generative AI. So generative AI is just a common word. So the word behind generative AI is large language models. Okay. So if you want to learn more about it, search for large language models and how to train them. But one thing I could say is it requires a lot of computational power and time and patience to train a large language model. It is a it is a very complicated job. So in order to understand what is going on in the process, you need to know what is artificial intelligence. For example, if you're studying in your first year, or say like probably if you have taken BE CSE or something, you will be learning what is AI in your second or third year. But before that, if you want to do means, you have a lot of courses on Coursera and like Udemy. You can take up those courses, and you can start your own chatbot. First start with training a chatbot, and then go on to LLMs, because NLP is a very that natural language processing domain is a very vast topic. You need to understand how algorithms work and what we need to do on that. Then it would be easy for you to create and train a generative AI. If I can do, if the OpenAI company can do, if Microsoft can do, we can also do. The thing is, we need more research on it. That is it. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, I think it's just Bagadishwar, right? Okay, it's 12 hours 5 minutes past now. So yeah, can we wind up?
Thank you so much, Sai Vignesh, for sharing your valuable knowledge with us.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I would also like to thank all the faculty, the management, and the department for giving me an opportunity to participate as a resource person in this webinar. I hope the content public like given here is useful to understand what generative AI in basic terms. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Participants, now it is a quiz time. Um, I have dropped a quiz link in the comment section. Kindly click and join it immediately so that we can have a quiz session now. Participants, join quickly. 13 participants joined now. Others, please do join quickly. Now we are going to start it. Okay, now we are starting the quiz. Pradeep is leading the quiz now. Pradeep leads the quiz again. Congratulations, Pradeep, for scoring the top mark. Thank you, participants. Uh, Now I have dropped a feedback link in the comment section. Kindly fill it for receiving your certificates. Once again, I repeat, I have dropped the feedback link in the comment section. Kindly fill it for receiving your certificates. On behalf of our college management, I would like to thank each and everyone for attending the session. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Sai Vignesh for sharing his valuable time and knowledge with us. Thank you all very much. That's the end of the stream. Thank you.